Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, held a final video call yesterday with their campaign's grassroots volunteers and donors. Both Harris and Walz thanked everyone on the call for their hard work during the condensed whirlwind campaign, while also encouraging them to stay engaged in politics as Donald Trump prepares to re-enter the White House.
Let me just say to everyone on this call, I am so grateful for you, and I'm so thankful to you. I'm thankful for your love of our country and your willingness to put the work into it. And I know this is an uncertain time. I'm clear-eyed about that. I know you're clear-eyed about it. And it feels heavy. And I just have to remind you, don't you ever let anybody take your power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th. And you have the same purpose that you did. And you have the same ability to engage and inspire.
Joining us now, staff writer at The Atlantic, Mark Leibovich. Mark, good to see you. So your latest piece for The Atlantic is about these Democrats in defeat. It has the headline, "In Praise of Clarity." Explain, if you will, what clarity you think the Democrats should receive from the results of this month's election.
Well, to be clear, we're talking about numeric clarity. And look, I think over the last few weeks, there's been a bit of a revisionist history, and I think some of it has to do with the numbers coming in about how decisive this defeat was for them. I mean, I think it was decisive. I think in some ways the clarity of the popular vote loss is instructive and potentially helpful for them as far as having a real kind of discussion and a real kind of clear look about where they are and where they're going forward. But also just it doesn't have the muddle of, even in the case of 2016, when Hillary Clinton was like, yeah, well, at least she won the popular vote, or yeah, well, if 2 votes in this state or in 2 counties or this or that went the other way. I mean, you still hear some of that, but ultimately, I think Democrats have been involved in I think a pretty rigorous and kind of maybe a 5 stages of grief and a process where they're trying to figure out where this went wrong and where to go from it. I mean, it could be pretty simple as maybe just finding a good candidate, or it could be something much deeper about sort of how to win back working class voters.
Yeah, it was certainly a narrow defeat, but certainly more convincing than in 2016. Lots of questions for Democrats. So, Mark, you're one of the best chroniclers of Washington itself and the culture of the Capitol. And you wrote about how Donald Trump, when he first came in, what a shock to the system he was to Washington. But now it's Act 2. How do you think that Republicans there, who were so subservient the first time around, will behave this time? And what sort of resistance, if any, can Democrats mount?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I mean, it's a really key question we're all kind of asking here around Washington. I mean, to some degree, there is a principle at work, which is that when Republicans in the Trump era are going to be called upon to act sort of courageously as a bulwark against his inclination to take as much power as possible, they will cave. They will, do the less courageous thing. I mean, we've seen that time and time again with some, exceptions. I do think in the last few weeks, there has been a pretty stepped up conversation about, maybe Republicans in the Senate will be some kind of stopgap against what Donald Trump wants to do, the instincts. And I think obviously a lot of his nominees, I mean, I think when you think about, I don't know if you call it the big 4, the something 4 of Kennedy, Gabbard, Gates, who is now, no longer nominated, and Pete Hegseth being the big 4, that at some point some group or gang or whatever you want to call it of Republicans will lock arms and actually be a real check. Because, look, this is a very unchecked and balanced potentially president. I mean, he is, he doesn't have a re-election to think about. He has all 3 chambers of the House and Senate. The courts obviously are not going to do that. His quote-unquote adults in the room don't seem to have a lot of adults. So we'll see. But I do think that is where the potential is, and that is where sort of the drama is as we look to where some of this, where some of the nominations go.
And Mark, in our last minute, what do you think Democrats will do? Like in 2016, there was real anger, but also purpose. They rallied against the Trump administration. This time, at least so far, real despondence. It's a very different feel.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it is just the stunningness of the loss. And I also think that, I mean, right now it's all sort of been some muddle of the holidays, the kind of recriminations about what happened in the Harris campaign, and also, blame being cast about, I mean, especially around Joe Biden and his last days. So, I mean, there's a lot going on. I do think at some point Democrats will find, I think, a more cohesive voice about this, probably when Donald Trump takes over and starts doing stuff.
Staff writer at The Atlantic, Mark Leibovich. Mark, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And